Hey everybody, happy Sunday, fun day morning. I'm Lisa, the self-love coach. That's right, I'm mixing it up a little bit. Getting everybody's self-love on point, present company included. I love inspiring people to love up on themselves because I believe the world needs people who love themselves so that we can be a more loving world to each other. And this is not just romantic relationships, but it's all the relationships, every relationship, our friendships, what have you. So it's Sunday, right? So I wanted to let you in my little kitchen here and, I don't know, hang with me while I'm making myself some breakfast. I wanted to talk to you a little about self-love and the little things that we do for ourselves, you know, to show that we love ourselves, that we can nurture ourselves, that we can feed ourselves, that we could be selective about what we put into our bodies and what we watch on TV and what we hear and just read, everything. We have choices that we can make. And so, you know, what I'm really interested in these days is talking about how self-love serves as a repellent to toxic and narcissistic people. So this is like an epidemic that we see where the world is full of toxic, narcissistic people, people who are takers, people who are just predatory. They have their own agendas. They have their own thing that they want to, you know, accomplish for themselves in their lives. And they don't care about who they have to use and exploit and suck the energy from in order to get it. So the repellent to that is to be a self-loving, confident person, emotionally self-reliant, and able to care for yourself and able to make decisions for yourself so that when these predatory types of people think that they have a shot with you, they inside of 10 seconds know that they do not. And it makes you incredibly powerful. I deal with a lot of people in my coaching practice who struggle with attracting toxic, narcissistic people, and they even have these people in their immediate families. It could be a parent, it could be a sibling. So I'm cracking my eggs. Actually, let me get into what I'm making myself today. So I got my eggs, having some eggs. I have waffles, they're already baking in the oven. I have, for my eggs, I'm doing kind of like a Spanish omelet type of deal. I have like my La Mexicana hot salsa, and I'm going to actually kick it up even more with some Texas Pete. So I'll put that in my eggs. And then I'll put like a nice little piece of melted cheese in the eggs as well. So, beautiful breakfast. I have bacon that I'm going to do. Shauna Harper says, looking great, Lisa. Honey, you're so kind. I'm fresh out of the bed. No makeup, nothing. Just brushed my teeth and like ready to make myself a breakfast. Talking about self-love today. So this is the thing. I am recently single again. I ended a 4.5-year relationship, beautiful friendship, missed the friendship terribly. It's just, you know, that's what happens. When you break up with somebody, you have this connection and you have so much togetherness and in each other's lives as friends, a true bond, and then boom, you break up and no more friendship. It all goes away, which is very sad. But as we know in life, in order for us to move forward to the things that we want, we oftentimes need to cut ourselves from things that are no longer aligned with where we're going in our life, right? So when a relationship goes its distance, you bless it and you move on. And that's what I've been doing in the last 2 months. And so part of this is really getting back into self-care. Not like I have to get back, because I always was self-caring to myself through this relationship. But the most self-caring thing I had to do was acknowledge that this person had a different direction and a different, just different values, we just grew apart, and it happens in relationships, you know. There are things that happen in life that, you know, force you to look at where you stand on certain things. And for me, I'm so grateful for this relationship because it showed me that it actually inspired me to want to be a wife to someone in a God-centered relationship. So isn't that amazing? Like, I started off this relationship 4.5 years ago with this wonderful man, and it was right after I got divorced. So I'm going to tilt this so you can come with me as I go get a fork so that I can mix my eggs. And so this guy, I meet him, amazing, and I basically get divorced, and then I meet him like a year later, like a little under a year later, like 11 months later, whatever. So I had gone through a healing process of my own. I did my own detox. It's a program that I'm actually offering to people now. It's a group coaching program. And it's amazing. It helps you get over codependency. It helps you cure yourself of codependency. So I did this thing to myself in 2015 into 2016. It was my year of really committing to myself for healing and really going inward and dealing with the reasons for why I was attracting the kind of relationships I was attracting and all this. So I do this, and I come out of my divorce. I come out of this healing journey, at least the first step of it. And I meet this beautiful man, and we proceed to have this relationship for 4.5 years. And it, like every relationship, it teaches you a bunch of stuff, right? And so as I started off in this relationship, though, it was like my first relationship after divorce. So I was like, I'm not looking to get married. I just got married. I was just divorced. Like, why would I want to look to get married again? But when you're in a relationship with somebody and then years go by and you're bonding and you're connected and you're getting along amazing and, you're falling in love and you're like, wow, like I could see myself with this person, like, long term, like, merging lives with them and being together all the time, like in a life situation, not just siloed. And there are a lot of people out there. I would say after age 40, this is going to be a common thing that you're going to find out there. It's a lot of people who say that they want a serious one-on-one relationship, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they want to merge lives. Doesn't mean that, right? It means that they want to live where they live. They want you to live separate. And like a couple times a week you hang out. And that can go on indefinitely. And you know what? That might work well for certain people. But that's not what I'm about. And it's not a fit for me. I am old school. Old school. Old school. Well, look. This is old school conservative. Picture of Ronald Reagan, 1980. Shout out to the Gen X, the best generation ever. If you were a kid and a teen in the 80s, honey, you see the world from a whole other level. And you know what? It contributes a lot to what's going on today, what we see in the world today. So, that being said, I ended this relationship with this man because I wanted more. I want to be something more than just girlfriend. Right? Like, that's cool. I love that. But I have it in me. Now that I've done all this work on myself and I coach other people on becoming self-loving and really advocating for themselves and being emotionally self-reliant. I coach people on all of this and I do it to myself. And now that I have it to give to a beautiful man. But only if that man wants to receive that, right? I'm not going to force this magic on just anybody. They have to want it. And sometimes people are just cool with whatever reason that they have on their own, whatever way they want to live. But it is important that you recognize that this is a thing and that there are people out there who might say to you, I definitely want to be in a relationship. I definitely want to be one-on-one monogamous. I don't want to be, sleeping around, whatever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they want to merge lives with you in that way. They don't want that level of responsibility. Finances, merging finances, meaning, paying bills together and like really having a life together in a meaningful, significant way other than just entertainment. Because one's companionship, and that's wonderful. And the other is companionship and building a life with somebody. So I'm at a stage and age in my life where for me, I have it in me to give. I know that I can be incredible to somebody. And not just anybody, but the somebody that is right for me. And I urge you all to stop settling Stop settling in your relationships. Think about the relationships that you're in and think about how you can expand and grow and elevate in that relationship if you're in a relationship. If you're single, I encourage you to hold out for greatness. Hold out for greatness and become great within yourself. Be great to yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to cook a beautiful breakfast for yourself on a Sunday. And hey, look, if cooking isn't your thing, honey, no problem. Go treat yourself. Beautiful bottomless mimosas. If that's your thing and you want to be waited on, get all gussied up, take a shower, get all handled, go to a beautiful breakfast, take yourself out. Learn how to treat yourself like your truest, most divine love, because you're here with yourself till death and beyond. Right? People come and go. People come and go. I tell my clients all the time, honey, you have to stop putting your worthiness in the hands of people. Can't do that. Your worthiness comes from source, from God, from whatever you want to call it, God force, source energy, whatever. It's that one thing that aligns you through and through, that you know that your worthiness comes from something higher. Honey, you're not going to mess with people. You're going to bless them. You're going to say, thank you so much for being in my life, for the time that you were in it, and the lessons that I learned, and blessings to you. Want nothing but good things to you, but I got to keep it moving. I got to keep it moving. Why? Because I'm here one time, one life. We are all here one life, one time, one life, right? To learn something, to elevate our souls in this life. So we meet these people, they come into our life to teach us stuff. And if you're not asking yourself, what is the lesson here? What was I supposed to learn in this relationship? What was I supposed to come away with for myself? So for me, that relationship, I'm bringing you over to the oven, to the stove area now, because I'm going to actually fire up my eggs and bacon. I'm going to talk to you while I'm doing this. It's going to be really cool. I've never done like cooking show video before. It's not really a cooking show. I'm just letting you into my life. So, let's see what's going on in the oven. Oh my goodness, look at this. How beautiful. Let's shut that off. Oh my goodness, I should have a taste. Let's see what happens. Put on my little mitt. But am I right? Like, how many people out there believe that in order for you to truly love somebody in a relationship, you have to learn how to love yourself? And so many people do not, and that is why the world is full of people who are broken, looking for soothing in other people. What are you doing? Can't do that. Not here to soothe anybody. I mean, I'm a coach. I'm a coach, and I want people... Terrible. That freezer burn. Oh, yeah, no good. Okay, so no waffle. You have freezer burn, they're terrible. I put them in the oven thinking, I mean, it's okay for ice cream. They're okay for ice cream. No, it's freezer burn, terrible. Hi, Taj. Okay, so no waffles. I'm gonna do toast. Have toast instead. Love it. So, self-love. Self-love is confidence. It's affirmations. It's how you talk to yourself. Look at this. Somebody weighs in right here. Nick Tiger Quay, 100%. I lost myself a bit in my recent relationship. I lost sight and stopped doing some of the things as often that I really needed in my life. It kept me whole and happy. Learned so much. Oh my God, that's so common, Nick. And thank you for writing in. So appreciate your sharing. Other people can share too. Feel free. And share this video if you feel like it's going to help some people. Because, you know, sharing is caring. This is the thing. We're all in this together, right? And, you know, we're not getting, no one's getting out of this alive, right? So we have to just live well while we're here. And we have to advocate for ourselves. It's very common what Nick says. It happens in relationships a lot. I coach people on this often. Where they come to me and they're like, Lisa, I'm in this relationship and I feel like I lost myself. I feel like I don't even know who I am anymore. I live for this person. Highly common in toxic, narcissistic, codependent dynamic relationships where you just lose yourself. But you know what? Even in a relationship, a normal, happy relationship, there are parts of yourself that you acquiesce to the other person. And then you're like, whoa, like I used to do these things. I used to like these things and I stopped doing these things. And now single, you can revisit that. You can like reconnect to yourself. And in doing so, it's self-loving. And then you go out in the world and you bring that self-loving person out there, and it's like magnetic. So what I'm noticing now, because I'm in this season of working on my business and expanding it through offering group coaching. So now I'm doing this cool, very self-loving, curing codependency, helping people step in to their autonomy, their confidence, feeling safe, secure, that they know that they can go out and date people and not have to worry that they're going to attract toxic, narcissistic people, getting everybody to be secure and solid in themselves. It's so powerful. And when we have it as a group, oh my God, the energy, because the people are feeding off the energy of the other people. So it's like all of these people looking at the same thing, which is their own evolution, their elevation, the way they're going to treat themselves, love up on themselves, heal themselves, deal with stuff. Like, example for you, Nick, perhaps you would be interested in saying, wow, how do I make sure that in my next relationship, I don't repeat these patterns of losing myself again, right? Like you're just like, how do I make sure that I don't do that again? Because Nick, you're a loving guy. You're going to want to be in another relationship again. But what I do is I do such analysis on the other relationship, and I look at it now from outside of it, and I'm able to decipher, who was I in this relationship? When did I not represent myself truthfully? When did I sell myself out? Were there times where I was saying yes to things that I really should have said no to? Were there times where I may have been settling, may have been accepting things that were a little mediocre because I just was in it for the vibe and I love this person and I want to hang with them and we're having such a good time? But the truth of really what I want for my life and how I want to live my life is kind of put on the back burner. So I really assess that, and that's how you grow, and that's how you say, okay, now I'm ready for this. Before, I was ready for what I was in. So we're always right where we're supposed to be. So I hope that brings you some peace, right? Because a lot of people are frustrated. Oh, I'm single and I shouldn't be single. Honey, you're exactly where you're supposed to be for the lessons that you're supposed to learn to elevate you so that you can move on to the next great thing that's ready for you in your life. When you're aligned with it, honey, it's coming like a freight train. You can't stop it. It's coming. So what I say to people is like, don't be so hard on yourself. You're out there, where's my person? Maybe I'll go to this restaurant and he'll be there. Maybe she's here. Maybe. No, it's getting solid and peaceful within yourself, making yourself your number one truest love of your life, because you are. And then from there, you go out in the world, you run some errands. I have to go to Home Depot and buy some nails to hang up my art. And bam, I can meet my husband right there. I have no idea. And that's the other part of this magic. When you love yourself, you're kind to yourself, and you surrender the things that you feel are heavy for you. Heavy. It's heavy. When people come at me, Lisa, for coaching. Actually, I'm going to move this here because I don't know if I'm going to cook while I have you guys with me. I think I'm going to just do this video, and then I'll go and I'll cook after. So I want to really give it to you good on a Sunday morning. I hope you're liking this. I invite you into my kitchen. A little bit different. But what I'm saying is every relationship is going to teach you about how you got to here. So I am grateful for the relationships. Instead of bitter and resentful, you shift into gratitude when you start to dissect it and you start to say, wow, I showed up this way in this relationship, and now I learned these things, and so I can show up this way. And it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of self-reflection, self-awareness to do this. And, I do this for people in my coaching all the time, because people come to me, oh my God, heartbroken, Lisa, this relationship, I thought we were going to get married, and I bought into the whole thing, and then he duped me, or she duped me, and I had this one whole direction, and I lost myself in the relationship, and I don't know what ends up. And, I sit down with people, and I say, let's break this down. Let's break this down, you and me, 1 hour. Let's size it up, and I'll elevate your energy, and you're going to have clarity. You're going to feel better and more certain and appreciative for the experience, as opposed to concerned and bitter, resentful, and worried that the same thing's going to happen again, that the same pattern will happen again, which it will if you don't do the inner work and the analysis and the commitment to wanting to be different the next time. Ooh, more. I said no to things that I really needed for myself so I can say yes to her more at times. See, that's codependency. I knew it, and I kept thinking I'd paddleboard more next week, and my happy things for myself next week. So you were putting things off that you wanted to do for yourself, right? And then what does he say? He says about being a better man because of the relationship we shared. Good. See, so look, you have to do what's right for you. You have to in a relationship. Okay, this is where I'm going to break it down for you. A relationship is basically two people operating at their most highest, best self in expectation of each other. And like you're watching each other being the best that you can be. That's a relationship. That's basically what we're doing in a relationship. It's I'm spectating you as you try your best to be your best every day. Very simple. And in that journey, people are going to have shit happen to them, right? This is life. Things happen, right? But it's how we handle those things in the company of another person. That's where we grow in a relationship. Now, there's more to it than that, of course. Take my example with boyfriend, and take Nick's example. So here's Nick. He's with this woman. He's into it. It's great. But there's something in the dynamic that made her want more of your time. And something in the dynamic that you acquiesced to that. Instead of saying, and communication is another thing I teach, babe, I am going to do my paddleboarding in the morning. I'm going to wake up and do it for an hour and a half. But what I would love to do after is reconvene and maybe go to the park or go walk around, go shopping, go to whatever, do whatever. But it's having the wherewithal and the self-love to understand that in order for me to show up good for you, I have to do these things for me. So like when I want to paint my nails, right? And I want to stay in on a Thursday night and, dye my roots and paint my nails and whatever. And a man says to me, hey, beautiful, I'd love to take you out to dinner Thursday night. I'm probably going to be like, Thursday's not a good night for me. Can we do Wednesday instead? Or, is there another night that works? Because Thursday night isn't, I'm not available. Because why? I want to have time to do the things that I need to do for myself to feel good. Simple things. Put, those masks you put on and it looks like the movie Scream. And I lay there so nice with meditation music. These are just things that you do to care for yourself. You have to care for yourself. Why? Because when you're self-loving and you do the things that you love to do for you, whether it be go work out at the gym, paddleboarding like Nick said, beauty day like I do, being with your dog, being in silence, whatever your thing is, reading, whatever your thing is, you have to have a thing and you have to have passion about your thing. And you have to do it no matter what. And then that person will have their thing. And if they don't have a thing, that's a problem. And this is what we're seeing a lot of, very much. In my coaching practice, I see a lot of codependency, a lot of narcissistic, toxic, codependent relationships. And what ends up happening is there's always one person in the relationship who's got nothing going on for themselves. They don't have self-love, and they're looking outside of themselves for entertainment, for soothing, for emotional blankie. Be my emotional blankie, please, because I can't be emotionally self-reliant. So they look outside of themselves. And you know what happens when you do that? You attract predators. Predators, these toxic narcissistic people, they're looking for people who lack boundaries and self-love and self-care. It's the people who are like, I give it all to you. You ever hear people, they say, I love hard. When I'm in a relationship, I love hard. Codependent, that means you're codependent. When you say you love hard, no, that's not what it is. You love yourself. And then you give a self-loving person to that other person. And a self-loving person has boundaries. They know to give themselves what they need when they need it. They're disciplined about it, right? If Saturday morning from 10 to noon is your paddleboard time, then that's the way it is. That's a contract that you make for yourself in your life. And this way, when you meet someone, you're going to attract somebody who's probably going to say this to you. So what do you do on Saturday mornings? Oh, I go paddleboarding every Saturday between 10 and noon. Oh, really? Cool. That's when I do my kickboxing class. Perfect. So how about we meet after, shower it up, and we grab lunch in the middle of the afternoon. You start to attract what you are. 100%. You can't feel guilty for doing your passion. Exactly, honey. That's the reason they fell in love with you in the first place. Yes, take that away and the whole vibe changes, a different frequency. 100%, Nick, you have such good awareness. That's amazing, and it's a great point that you made. Yes, oftentimes, the very person that these people fall in love with is you. At your high vibe, right? You're doing all the things that you love. You're like doing it all. You're living a great life. And then you get into a relationship, and the very things that they loved so much about you, you stop doing. So you're like, oh, I used to do this kickboxing class and it was amazing. And you know what? Now we go out, my person and me, and the next morning we had some cocktails. Now we're snuggy in the bed. We're making love. Before we know it, it's 11 in the morning. And all I want to do is order some pizza and lay in the bed and watch Netflix. And while that's nice every now and then to have that, but you're giving it away to yourself. You're giving from yourself. You're giving away what you need. That time alone, that passion that you have, that thing that you like to do. It's for you. It's to charge your battery. It's to fill your own love cup up with energy so that then you give to you first and then you give that to your partner. So I learned this the hard way, folks. This is why I do what I do. This is why I have this coaching practice that I love so much, because I have been through every single possible relationship issue. I mean, other than 10 midgets in an elevator with baby oil. I basically been through pretty much everything. Infidelity, receiving, giving, both awful, cheated on, cheated, terrible. Rebounding from that, getting back together after infidelity, super hard, and then having relationships completely fall apart and completely be like, what the hell happened, right? Because you don't have the self-love and you're looking at other people to soothe you, not their job. So I've been through all of these different relationship dynamics. I've been divorced, right? So I can tell people, honey, if you want to make sure that you divorce-proof your marriage, coach with me for an hour. I'm going to give you a list of all the minefields. I'm going to show you the map. I'm going to show you the map. Here's how not to fuck it up. This is what I do for the people. You're in, let's say, a relationship where it's toxic. I was in one of those, and you have to leave it, and you know you have to leave it. There's a strategy, an exit strategy. I have it for you. I help people with that. You want to get out of there? You want to bag out of that toxic relationship? We get together, 1 hour, here's an exit strategy. And I help people to do this. I'm telling you, everything that I do and I help people, it's because I've been through it myself. So it's not like, you see these coaches out there and they run their mouth off and they're like, well, you've been married for 39 years. How the hell can you talk to me about divorce? I'm going through a divorce. And they're like, oh, but I've been married. They're not going to relate. They're not going to relate to the anguish, the loss of your identity. You don't even know who you are anymore when you get divorced. Or you leave a relationship where there is a lot of enmeshment. That feeling of not knowing, who am I now? I don't know who I am without this person. It's like losing a limb. So for me, I've been through that. I've been through it and came out the other side. So when I coach people, I'm super transparent. We have a really good conversation. I help people come to their own conclusions and their own answers. And then they ask me questions about, when you were going through this, like, what did you think about this? And I give it all. Honey, I am so transparent in my coaching. I've become like truly really good friends with the people that I coach. We really reveal a lot. We go through this beautiful journey together, 6 weeks or 12, depending on which one people want to do and which one I recommend for them. And, you know, magic happens. Magic happens. So one of the things that I'm doing to even reach more people now in this self-loving time where everybody wants to be all about feeling good and confident and dating with power and purpose and strong in their relationships and really communicating and advocating for themselves, I have launched, I'm actually doing enrollment right now for a group coaching program, super exciting. And it's all about healing from toxic narcissistic relationships and curing codependency. So anything in you that says, you know, I give too much of myself and I lose who I am. If you're saying that, like this is a program for you for sure. It's going to teach you how to really advocate for yourself, to be more confident in relationships, and it can be relationships with anybody, your kids, your parents, your family, anybody, your coworkers. It's all about self-advocacy, loving yourself, standing strong and firm in your boundaries, learning how to create healthy boundaries if you don't even know what that is. Super important. And just feeling good in your life, right? Feeling good in your life, setting goals, small goals that every week to week you can achieve and feel a sense of accomplishment for yourself. And I'm telling you, when you start rolling in a self-loving way and you really learn these tools that I give week to week, more tools, my God, by the end of this, you're like superpower. You have like this armor of badass on you, but like with love, like you ooze out love because you love yourself. But you're like, do no harm, take no shit, right? You're very strong and secure in yourself. You can size up bullshit. You feel like you can protect yourself, but you're not bitter. You're not resentful. You don't have this energy of like, you're more like, hey, you're just like open and nice and just light and certainty. You have a sense of certainty that you can go out there and accomplish stuff and have a really joyous life and operate from a place of peace and confidence. So this is the coaching, group coaching, what I love, because everybody in the group, we feed off each other and it's interactive. People come in with their issue and you know, they write me and then I go in and it's like, okay, so today's class is going to be about whatever, and I do the beginning. People take notes, oh my God, amazing. And then you have worksheets, you get homework, super cool. And then people are allowed to write me and say, here's the beef that I have going on in my life right now. And if they want to come on and do a whole hot seat, we'll do it. But if they want confidentiality, I respect that also. People roll how they want to roll, totally respect that. And I bring it to the group. And then we hash it out and people have ideas and things get exchanged. And now more than ever, because of crazy COVID and this whole Zoom culture that we have, we yearn for connection. We yearn to know that we are not alone and that the things that we're going through, we're not crazy and we're not alone in that. So if this sounds like something you want to get in on and you want to be part of this party that I'm starting, it's going to begin on March 1st. I'm taking enrollment all through the month of February. I'm hopeful that once I get to 20 people, boom, it stops and we roll. And then I start putting people into another group. So I want to keep it to about 20 people. I've done them before, and 20 is like magic number, where you have some people who are more about spectating, and then you have more people who are about participation. But either way, it's a nice dynamic. 20 is a good number for sure. So if you're interested in being part of this party, definitely find me at lovequestcoaching.com. If you're seeing this on YouTube, if you're seeing this on Facebook, you can just PM me, Lisa Concepcion. I'm a certified life coach, an energy leadership master practitioner, which means that you put me in a group of 20 people, honey, I can size up the vibe and raise it for everybody. And I can really help you get that clarity that you need so that you feel just at ease and at peace in yourself and you feel safe. And when you go out and people come at you, that you know the questions to ask. You know where you stand on certain important things. And you know how to represent yourself in a self-loving way. So I hope to connect with you. If you want to do an hour-long session, you absolutely can do that. You can PM me or you can find me at lovequestcoaching.com. As always, there's a free love life assessment over at lovequestcoaching.com that you're more than welcome to take. It's a written form. I get it. I read everything you share with me, and I give you some insights and practical ideas that you can put into play immediately. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging in my kitchen. Have a blessed Sunday fun day, and I will catch up with you soon. Bye.